Good day from Singapore, everybody. I am Mundhra from Victoria Junior College, and my partner Ting is from St. Andrew's Junior College. Today, we will be bringing you through our research on developing a humorous chatbot companion for senior citizens. The project was done as part of a 5-week research attachment program at the Institute for Infocom Research, A*STAR. I will introduce the project and present our results, and TJ will describe the setup and discuss the conclusions. In our research, we hope to address the key questions of how does humor in dialogue with a chatbot affect memory. Through our literature review, humor has been shown to enhance mental and physical health by moderating stress and elevating mood. Specifically, the incorporation of contextual semantic humor into information has been proven to augment the memory of the information. Moreover, it is proven that the incorporation of humor into artificial intelligence makes the interaction seem more human-like. To test this, we decided to use Dialogflow to create a chatbot to examine the effects. After studying the various effects of humor in a chatbot system on memory in detail, we hope to use the results to develop a humorous chatbot companion. In order to manage the scope for the initial research, the elderly were chosen as our target audience. The aging population has become an increasingly pervasive problem in Singapore. It is expected that the proportion of the population who are elderly in Singapore will grow to nearly half of its population, and the number of solitary elderly are also expected to rise. As this trend is likely to continue, we will observe more depressive symptoms within the elderly community, coupled with a rising elderly mortality rate. As such, it is crucial to aid the elderly in Singapore, especially solitary elderly, in taking care of their physical and mental health. Current solutions targeting the loneliness and well-being of elderly present several limitations, thus the problem has persisted and become more severe. Senior activity centers and support groups are often inaccessible, while robotic companions may also be ineffective due to their high cost and unfamiliarity for digital immigrants. As such, a humorous personal chatbot companion, integrated with Facebook Messenger, was chosen to solve the problem. The chatbot was deployed on Facebook Messenger as it is inexpensive and can be easily accessed. The platform is also the most familiar social networking site amongst our target audience. We aimed to investigate the effects of semantic humor in artificial intelligence on memory before incorporating our findings into our chatbot. While there have been numerous studies conducted on the effect of humor on memory, we wish to see if this effect is replicated in artificial intelligence. We hypothesized that humor in an intelligent system would improve retention and recognition of the information provided by the system. Dialogflow, Airtable databases, and Google's machine learning and natural language processing capabilities were employed to design and create the chatbot, Health Advocado, a play on the words advocate and avocado. Health Advocado's features were designed based on the needs of the target group, in this case, the elderly population in Singapore. The most significant problems identified were malnutrition, physical injury, decline in cognitive health, and social isolation. Therefore, Health Advocado has 5 main features. Firstly, a conversational buddy which can sustain conversations with users over a selected range of topics and provide emotional companionship. Secondly, a meal advisor that provides users with information on healthy ingredients, restaurants, and recipes in a concise and funny way to motivate them to take care of their nutrition. Thirdly, an exercise planner providing users with personalized exercise regimes for their age in a humorous way to help them recover from injuries as well as reduce the risk of injuring themselves again. Fourthly, a memory lane feature allowing users to reminisce about the past Singapore via old photos to stimulate them and reduce the rate of cognitive decline. Lastly, a set of games such as Semantris, helping users combat loneliness and enhance their memory, creativity, and language skills. Semantic humor was incorporated into each of these elements. For example, here the chatbot uses puns to introduce the game to the user. TJ will now explain how we designed and carried out the study.
Thank you, Ria. To test the impact of humor on memory and recollection, a study was conducted with 8 participants aged 60 and above and have moderate to high English proficiency. Participants were first given a brief introduction to the chatbot design and were guided on how to use the chatbot. They were then asked to interact with the Mere Advisor portion of the chatbot for 20 minutes. Users can select from 18 different healthy ingredients, recipes, or restaurants to view, in which half of them are presented in a humorous manner, while the other half in a non-humorous manner. Humorous and non-humorous statements were randomly spaced throughout the interaction. Next, participants completed a user experience questionnaire and demographic survey which were averaged at 10 minutes to not only see their overall experience in interacting with the chatbot, but also act as a filler task before the recall test, allowing us to more reliably distinguish between memory of humorous and non-humorous statements. Testing them immediately after the interaction could introduce test biases, as participants would still be able to recall the most recent replies, regardless of the presence and quality of humor in the reply. Following this, we administered a recall test to test participants' ability to retrieve the information presented to them. Participants had 5 minutes to write down as many of the 18 presented facts as they could remember from their interaction with the chatbot. Some assistance was given by providing headers to trigger their memory. A recognition test was also administered, where participants were tasked to recognize facts that they had seen in the chatbot from a pool of 18 true facts, 9 fake facts, and 18 fact lures. Fact lures were true facts, but were not presented by the chatbot during the interaction, while fake facts were untrue. Each participant was given 7 minutes to complete the recognition test. The participants can choose either yes or no to represent whether they have seen the fact in the chatbot before. The jokes made by the chatbot employ humor mainly in the form of wordplay as well as emojis. For example, the pun made for corn is an amazing cholesterol controller. Participants were asked to rate the jokes on a scale of 1 to 5, verifying that the humor was perceived as intended. To evaluate how the humor was perceived by participants, the mean humor rating given to each humorous statement was calculated, with 4 non-humorous control statements being tested as well. The non-humorous statements were consistently rated lower than humorous statements. Lastly, the data gathered from these questionnaires was analyzed. From the Shapiro-Wilk test for normality, data regarding the number of humorous facts called from the recognition test was found to be normally distributed. From the PET sample t-test, we found that the mean for humorous facts identified is significantly higher than the mean for non-humorous facts identified. The data for the number of humorous and non-humorous statements recorded was not normally distributed, as indicated by the Shapiro-Wilk test for normality. Thus, the Wilkerson sign rank test was conducted on the sample. While the median for humorous statement record is higher than that for non-humorous statements record, the difference is not significant. This could be attributed to the floor effect, as many participants found the test very difficult, and hence most obtained very low scores. Lastly, the mean response to each statement in the user evaluation questionnaire were calculated, with 1 being strongly disagree and 5 being strongly agree. On average, users were satisfied with our chatbot, but found some of the terminology used to be confusing. From qualitative feedback, we also found that some users hoped for more features and detailed information.
While the results we obtained seem to support the hypothesis that humor in an interactive system does improve the recognition of previously seen information, and there is some evidence to support the fact that humor improves recall as well, we are aware that our sample size is too small in drawing indubitable conclusions, and we would use a larger sample size in the future to reduce test biases, including the subjective nature of humor and differences in language proficiency of participants, which can affect their comprehension of certain keywords within the chatbot's responses. Since variations in language proficiency can influence the comprehension of each statement, we have decided to replace complex statements with layman terms. For example, the word antioxidant can be replaced with preventing or slowing down cell damage. Moreover, the system will contain the definitions of commonly misunderstood words and phrases to reduce confusion and inconvenience. Using our findings, we incorporated more features into the chatbot, using puns, wordplay, and casual banter in each function of the chatbot, in hopes of making the information provided more memorable and the conversation more personal. Furthermore, the chatbot was programmed to send certain images and GIFs when specific user phrases were detected.
As the world faces an increasing aging population, there is a growing market for such products, aimed at improving the senior citizens' health and well-being. Hence, this research has numerous real-world applications. As apparent in the COVID-19 pandemic, chatbots are needed to help with determining symptoms of illnesses due to the shortage of medical professionals. In future, we would like to ensure that there is effective and efficient communication between the chatbot and the users. This can be done by examining conversation patterns between the chatbots and the users. By continuously collecting conversation logs, the responses by the chatbot will become more reflective of the current generation of senior citizens. We also acknowledge that different races and ethnic groups will have disparate senses of humor due to the dichotomies between environments. Henceforth, the humor in the chatbot can be further modified to cater to most users. Lastly, although difficult, we hope to make further enhancements to the chatbot, allowing it to generate humor rather than sticking to a fixed set of humorous statements. We will be glad to accept any questions at the email addresses displayed on the screen. Thank you for your time and attention.